Jusuf Nurkic, who is the Phoenix Suns center, hasn't been playing recently, and obviously he's not happy about it. And he hasn't spoken to his head coach Mike Budenholzer in 2 months. And the reason this is an issue is because how can a player and coach work together if there is zero communication? So if we take a step back and look at Nurkic this season, he started off as a regular in the lineup, but he got benched earlier this month, and ever since January 7th, he hasn't played a single game. He even claimed that Budenholzer didn't even tell him ahead of time that he'd be sitting out, and that part's crazy to me. I think that this lack of communication is tough for any player, but the least you could do is give your guy a heads up. But imagine for Nurkic, he's suiting up for every game, thinking he's going to play, but it's gotten to a point now where he's not even seeing the court. He's just getting dressed and then sitting throughout the entire game, and then he goes right back to the locker room. And all of this just feels so unprofessional in my opinion. But anyways, Budenholzer was asked to respond on this, and he said that you gotta earn your minutes. That was his response. You gotta earn your minutes. And sure, in theory, it makes sense, right? Any player's gotta earn their minutes. But Nurkic was already a starter for most of the season. And so if his performance wasn't good enough, then they could have communicated that with him. They could have worked with him to improve his gameplay or whatever the reason might be. Or worst case, if they want to give some other guys some minutes, then just explain that decision better. But they didn't. They just kind of sat him out with no word, and that's where we're at. So Nurkic is handling it pretty professionally, I would say, but clearly he's not happy. And just overall, the situation feels messy. The bigger issue here is that the Suns can change their lineup. I think any team has the right to change their lineup. It's not illegal, but they could have handled it better. Even benching somebody is completely normal, but if you do it without communicating, then now you're reaching an area where there's not going to be a resolution, right? This is how you burn bridges. This is how you ruin ties. This is how you create unhappy players for your team. And overall, team chemistry just declines. Even if it's not directly impacting another player, team chemistry goes down the drain. And so here we are right now. There's no communication. And if there's no communication, then there's not going to be a resolution in sight either. And so, what are next steps going to be? In my opinion, if this is how things are going to be from now on, then trade the guy, right? The trade deadline is still coming up. Trade him. Get rid of him. Clearly Mike Budenholzer is happier when Nurkic isn't on the court, so trade him. And then for Nurkic, he's happy when a coach actually communicates with him. And so wherever he goes next, I have a good feeling that any other team in the league is at least going to talk to him if they're going to bench him. So that's where we're at. Nothing more update-wise on this topic just yet. So we'll just see what happens next. But thanks for watching.